Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, our fucking awesome audience, to a little show we like to call
Roll with the Troll.
Roll with the Troll. So I am the troll, in case you're new to the channel, and I'm here with the voice of reason.
That's me.
So if I say something dumb, she's going to try to counter it with something smart. We'll find balance in the end. It isn't ultimately Cobra Kai all about balance,
Balance
voice of reason.
is my thing.
Yeah, balance is my thing. I'll tell you, this episode starts off where we are at the Cobra Kai flagship dojo, right?
Episode 8.
Yeah, episode 8. We're reviewing episode 8. Total spoilers, guys. We're going to spoil anything that goes on in this episode, past episodes, maybe even
you haven't seen it
episodes
by
9. Yeah, that's fair. By now, you're not going to see it. So, all right, let's talk about the beginning of this episode.
Yes.
It starts off with the flagship dojo for Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Terry Silver is so excited. He's about to hatch his evil plan,
Yes.
right? He's got the guys there from the Taikai Saikai.
Yeah.
He is pumped and he's all set. And the timing is unbelievable because Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence just appeared. Wow, these men are magic.
Woo!
These men are magic. Remember that from Rocky V?
Yeah.
Mrs. Balboa just appeared.
Yeah.
So they just showed up, nick of time. That's the problem with this show, is the plot armor.
Well, there's a few times every season where there's plot armor, and I don't know. Sometimes I can just go with it, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna suspend my disbelief, and the story has to move along, and so we're going with it. But that was like, they just conveniently walked in at that very moment.
It was perfect timing.
They just found out about the evil plan.
And then they show up, and that's exactly when these guys are here. And also, how many business meetings? I mean, okay, this isn't just a business meeting, too. This was a business meeting where men had to travel from across the world.
Right.
And then they show up, they get out of their limo, they go inside, and then in the height of all this anticipation to meet with Terry Silver and Terry Silver to meet with them, all it takes is Daniel and Johnny to just come walking in and go, no, we're 2-time champs. And the guy goes, oh, well, wait a minute. But I need to. I mean, if the guy, this is really, the show's really looking silly here because as much as we love this episode, right?
Yeah.
It's very silly. I mean, if these guys were, first of all, they're doing the world's biggest tournament. You don't think that they would just look up the other talent in the area or anywhere? You don't think they would be aware of like who's been winning lately and what's going on? You think they'd really need Johnny and Daniel to just walk in and interrupt the whole thing, and all within 5 seconds that all of a sudden like, okay, well, we want to know about them too. Yeah. I thought that was terrible writing, honestly. I know the show moves quickly, but this should have taken longer. They should have given that a few minutes. At least have the guys from the Taikai Saikai say something like, well, wait a minute, you don't just walk in here and just interrupt this business meeting. And then there should have been better writing to somehow intrigue them enough, where, and maybe they could have said something like, well, you guys won last year. Or Johnny could have said, actually, how he was the initial leader of this new rebooted Cobra Kai. He could have pointed that out, that I could see the guys from Taikai Saikai saying something like, well, Cobra Kai won 2 years in a row. And Johnny would say, yeah, I was the one who led them last year to victory. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that would have made more sense.
Sure.
That kind of would have put a spin on it. And then that would have fed more into the history of the show. Because to just walk in and just go, well, we're great champs too, and our kids are really good, and it's so odd.
And we deserve a chance at your tournament.
Yeah, and that's it. Like all of a sudden, the guys are like, "Oh, well, then wait a minute, we got to give them a shot." You didn't know that there were other good fighters in the valley. You didn't bother calling anybody else up and saying, "While we're in town, we'd like to see you guys too."
Right. Yeah.
Nothing. Come on, it's. I love the episode. Yeah. But this show cuts way too many corners, and this is one of the worst offenses, I think.
Yeah. Well, but it moved the story on, and we got to the meat of stuff after that. So,
but at what cost, voice of reason? Why can't we explore? We can't take 5
because they
fucking
only
minutes.
have so many episodes. They've got a lot to cram in.
Then do more episodes. Like these guys are the kings of Netflix. You sit Netflix down, and you go, listen. Some of our best fighters believe we should get an episode 11, 12, and 13, so we can flesh some of this shit out. And then
while we're at it, we should just have 22.
That'd be fun. That would be fun. And more full season. Anyway, let's get on with the damn review. This is silly. We're getting all over the place here. All right. So that whole part was bullshit. And then Terry Silver's steaming. He's furious. Does he realize all he had to do was keep the door locked and none of this would have happened? I mean, you realize how simple this would have been if he just had the door locked?
Well, lesson learned.
What an asshole. By the way, if anybody's enjoying this video,
hit the like button.
Please, like, subscribe, support the channel, do whatever. But we'd love to have you on board the troll train.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a little. Isn't that fun?
The troll train.
So let's talk a little bit more about what happens now. So after this whole thing, they the Saikai Taikai guys decide that they want to have the best boy fight the best girl, or the best other boy, from the two dojos, right?
Right, yeah.
All right, so they put that whole thing together.
To decide.
I think it's insane that Kenny was pulled up as the guy to fight Hawk.
Yeah.
Forget the fact that Kenny's going to be a freshman, and Hawk's going to be a senior. That's weird enough.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of it, Hawk was in the last tournament a year ago. Yeah. Kenny, a year ago, was still sucking his mommy's tit.
Oh, my.
You know what I mean? So I think it's very odd. I mean, if they'd made a bigger deal about what a badass Kenny is, and they talked about him being fast, right?
Uh-huh.
Everyone's talked about that Kenny's fast.
Yeah.
And everyone's talked about him being, like they made him the leader here against,
yes.
What's his name? Against Tyler and everything. So they showed him as advancing. But to take over to be the guy for the dojo, to be the number one, that's a little odd. By the way, was Kyler even there at this tournament, at this pre-tournament thing? Was he around?
Yeah.
Why would he even show up at this point? He thought he was number one, and now he's not even. He kept talking about, I'm number one, dog. I'm number one.
Yeah.
You be deuces. Remember that? He's like,
yes,
you play your cards right, you'll be deuces.
Oh, God. It was
what an annoying prick. If I were him, I wouldn't even shown up. But I said, you know what? I sucked ass at the tournament. I don't score any points. Nobody likes me, including Terry Silver. I would just go back to wrestling. It's not working out,
Yeah.
Even when he tries to bully people at school, they end up beating him up.
He's not very good. He's not a very good bully.
His own dad shits in his mouth. Remember that? Yeah, we learned that. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's move on. All right, so we're supposed to get Tori versus Sam.
Yeah.
And I love the way that Tori ends up leaving when she sees the cheating going on. But the thing is, I got to tell you, she leaves over the cheating, I think, ultimately is what did it. Mm-hmm. That once again, Terry's bought off every ref in the Valley.
Yeah.
But I was kind of torn there, because is she leaving over just the cheating, or was she leaving anyway because of what happened with her and Kreese when there was the whole discussion over, Kreese was telling her to just go ahead and win, right? He's just like,
do
go ahead
what's right for you.
Do what's right for you, which is ultimately advancing herself with Cobra Kai. But at the same, because Kreese, rewinding here a little bit, Kreese was saying that because of what Johnny had said to Kreese. Johnny gave Kreese a harsh wake-up call about how Johnny wanted to erase every memory of him.
Yeah.
And Kreese was so proud of what he felt like he'd done for Johnny, Kreese is like the bad parent. The parent's like abusive, and he's like, look at everything I've done for you. And the kid has to say, you've been a terrible fucking parent. Fuck you. So Kreese had that wake-up call. He didn't want to make the same mistake with Tori.
Right.
But then it's confusing to me as to what are we supposed to think was the real reason Tori left instead of fighting Sam LaRusso at the dojo.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah, I think that, Kreese told her, do what's right for you. And he's saying that because he wants her to take care of herself, meaning if she were to get into this tournament and win and get like sponsorships and things like that and money prizes, that benefits her. She, it helps her in life.
Yeah.
And ultimately she decided she couldn't do another tournament that was won by cheating, and what was right for her was to walk away. So she still did what Kreese told her to do, but she was following like her conscience.
Yeah, I get it. I just also think there was some confusion there for me in terms of what they don't. The show doesn't always. There's so many shades of gray that they don't always just give you a straight up like, here's the reason. That sometimes it's a little bit more multifaceted. Yeah. But okay, whatever. I really had a hard time believing that Kenny beats Hawk this easily. I mean, a minute ago, Kenny was like the new kid, and Hawk was the experienced guy who just became the new champion.
Yeah.
And now Kenny beats him pretty easily. And I know there was some cheating there too.
With the silver bullet.
With the silver bullet, okay, but and there was some cheating a little bit as well. But it just shouldn't have even been close. It shouldn't have been anything like that. So anyway, all right, so whatever. Why didn't we learn the silver bullet a long time ago if this was so helpful? Wouldn't that have been nice a little while ago? Terry just kind of randomly, he's like, let me show you this killer move that works every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just had a tournament. Why didn't you show them all that before the tournament instead of just the one kid?
Can't reveal everything all at once.
Oh my God. Listen, if I were LaRusso, Chosen, and Silver, I would sit all my students down and just go, here's everything I got in the bag. Here's every one of my things. The whole thing. Kind of like when you take home some strange from the bar. You don't like hold off for like the time, the third, the fourth time. You just give it all you got right then and there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And everything in your bag of tricks.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Ref is moron. That's our favorite line, right? Ref is moron.
I don't know if that's my favorite, but it was fun.
No? Well, there are some other great lines in this episode.
There's some good contenders in this one.
Yeah. I can't believe they went with the cheating angle again. And they made it really clear because not only was it really obvious because of the bias.
Especially now that he knows that Tori's onto it.
Yeah, I know. Silver has just such balls to pull the shit he does. He acts like he's completely untouchable.
First you're going to win a point. Then you're going to lose a point.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of like that.
I bet Terry's been kicking himself for 33 years over the fact that he didn't cheat in that tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This whole time. Now he cheats at everything. Even when he gets discovered, he's like, fuck it. I don't care. We're just going to cheat all the time. I guess the way he sees it is as long as they're the best in his mind, they're just the best no matter what.
Right.
He doesn't really have to prove anything.
Sounds good.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, so Chosen had that funny line. But also Chosen had a great line once they're training Sam. Daniel and Chosen training Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part was really great, guys. Voice of Reason and I really love this scene. When
it was very moving.
Yeah, when Chosen tells Samantha that she should go rest, and then he says, he goes, when your dad and I fought, he said, I was fighting against. Everything I was fighting was against. And he said, your dad was fighting for, right? He said, for the village, for MIYAGI-Do, for his honor. And that was a real, I think that's one of the 3 or 4 nuggets this season brought us in terms of like really giving some philosophy and some perspective about the meaning behind this karate. Because there's so much like gratuitous fun with karate on this show. There's so many wild action scenes and things like that. I really like when they kind of take a moment and bow to karate. You know what I mean? Because really that's where they're coming from too. I mean, as much fun as they're having with it, with the crazy action and sometimes the laughs, I think it's nice when they really do take a moment and just point out the difference between winning and losing and honor and all that stuff. I like when the show does that. I thought that was a great moment when Chosen did. He delivered it perfect. That guy is the best.
Yeah.
Every episode he nails it. I say this in every single review we do in this season, but he's so good. So I really love that. I thought that was a great scene.
We love Chosen, and when you watched Karate Kid 2 back in the day, would you have ever thought that we're just going to fall in love with this guy?
Chosen is actually becoming the heart of the show.
Right?
I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know.
And they give him so many Miyagi-isms. He gets so many lines where he gets to say what Miyagi said.
Yes.
And I think they're doing that deliberately, that it's usually Miyagi's lines he says and not someone else's.
Yeah.
I think they're doing that to put him in more of a Miyagi-ish kind of light. He's wild. Like the kids said in the last episode, how he's very similar to both Daniel and Johnny.
Yeah.
But then no one pointed out the kids don't know Mr. Miyagi, but he's very similar to Mr. Miyagi too.
Yeah.
He is really an amalgam of everybody. And I'll tell you, he is in every episode this season. It makes me think he will get a spinoff.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they would have put him in every single episode and given him this much time unless they were thinking of doing something with him.
Yeah.
And they could probably get the actor pretty cheap. I mean, he's not in other things. He just owns a restaurant in California. He's probably not like super busy. I would think that that's maybe where they're headed with him. Anyway, I digress. Okay, lots more to talk about. Little time to do it. All right, so Gunther, wow, what a big surprise here. He gives both dojos the opportunity to join the Saikai Taikai. Kind of saw that coming.
Yep.
But okay, so that's in. So that was cool. But then, in a little twist that I didn't see coming, Tori shows up to the big celebration party. And she tells Sam
that she didn't lose.
That she didn't really lose, that there was some cheating going on. And speaking of cheating, and then speaking of cheating, that pisses Sam off.
Yeah.
Miguel goes and gets a knob job from that girl at the party.
He was, oh my God.
Sam walks in and gets even madder about that. Sam's
He was
furious.
Somebody.
No, I'm pretty sure he was getting his dick wet.
Oh my God.
That's what happened on the show. You got to rewatch the show. So Sam is furious about any kind of cheating.
Almost out of time.
Any kind of cheating at all, Sam's not going to stand for. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for supporting the channel. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. We will see you tomorrow for episode 9.